I think it shouldn't be legalized just for recreational use. It should be legalized for important purposes and things like that.
I don't see why not. For right now, I know there's a bunch of marijuana users in the United States, and I don't see it changing the effective users or increasing the users. Maybe just it'll just change the legality of it, but I don't see why not.
No.
I don't think it should be legalized for recreational use in New York. Nope.
I think marijuana should be legalized for recreational use in the state of New York, as well as I think it should be legalized nationally. I think it's used to such an extent, and it's so common that if we were able to tax it, it would be a great tax revenue for the state and the federal government. But also, you look at how many people are currently doing jail time and stuff like that for possession and stuff like that, which I think in the scheme of things is a relatively small violation. You look at how much money that our country and the local states are paying to house those guys and feed them and all that. I think it's a huge expense that if we legalized it, not only will we lower the expense on those guys, but it'll also provide I think a significant increase in revenue for the state and federal government.
I think it should be taxed because I think that was the whole point of getting the idea to make marijuana legal, so that I think we can get out of debt or fix more streets and towns and businesses, give more money to businesses.
I think the state or the federal government should do anything that they need. So if they need to tax it, if they need the money and they want to put it towards a good cause, I think, yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it should be taxed because that's the only way that it would work.
If it's legalized, I think it should be heavily taxed to control use. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think that marijuana is one of those things. It's a luxury. It's not a necessity. I think it should be taxed just as much, if not more so, than alcohol and cigarettes. It's not something that people need. So if they want to do it and they're willing to pay the extra price, then so be it. But I think it could, if it's taxed, would be a significant increase in revenue.
I think it would be 21, just because of the fact that it actually makes you feel a different way, just like alcohol does. After a while of consuming it, it makes you feel different. It makes you feel different. Cigarettes, on the other hand, 18, it's just releasing stress. It's not really putting you at a different state. Like sometimes with marijuana, you're unfocused or.
I definitely think it should be about the same as alcohol or tobacco. Definitely maybe tobacco, since many marijuana users claim that there's not very large effects of marijuana and it's almost equivalent or maybe even a little bit better than tobacco use itself. So maybe the same age as tobacco.
I think the age limit should be 21.
I think the age requirement would be 21, like it is for alcohol.
If it's legalized, I think it should be pretty similar. I think it should be pretty much exactly the same as the current alcohol laws in the state, as far as 21 plus. And if you're caught with it under the age of 21, you get a ticket, probably some community service, and then probably wouldn't hurt to have them go through some kind of a program to raise awareness of some of the side effects that are associated with marijuana.
Yes, I think regardless, people will get a hold of it anyway, but it should definitely still be used for medical issues and just the medical field area.
Yeah, if the I think if the government sees fit that it's not a very good idea to make it legal, then yeah, the same law should be in place, whatever the people think or whatever the government thinks.
If it's not made legal, then I still think it should be allowed for medical use because it helps in certain situations.
I think it should. If people need it, I guess.
Yeah, I would say definitely. I know that, especially with cancer treatment patients, medical marijuana is a really popular option. I think when you're going through that type of a disease, it's so stressful on the body, and it takes such a toll on you. I mean, I think that at that point you should have access to, I mean, as long as no one else is getting hurt, I think you should have access to whatever makes you feel better and, you know, takes away the pain.
Marijuana was made legal. The money should be used for, I mean, it's not going to help right away, but in the long run, I think it should just be used for getting us out of debt. I mean, it's not really going to make much of a difference, but it's a start, you know.
I would like to see it maybe go into education or building reforms or anything like that. Any kind of charity or any sort of event like that would be a great thing.
If marijuana is made legal, we should use the money we get from taxing it to pay off debts.
I think it should be used for education and other public funds that aren't controversial and can go towards the greatest good.
I think it should be used for lowering college tuition and reinvesting into some high school and vocational, well, back home in vocational schools, but up here you guys have, what is it called, for like vocational training, like a Voc Tech, what's it called? Can't. All right, well anyway, you know, if that money was to be reinvested into education, we'll have a better qualified workforce. I think you'll have less unemployment. You know, I think it'll help jumpstart the economy, because when you start from the bottom and you educate the workforce, I think you get a better end result.